The man that I worship is also a convicted felon.
We're here in Sunset Park to worship and bring back the greatest president we've ever known.
This is a new era in America, and I think it goes against the ilk of who we are as Americans. In the end, this jury of ordinary people from Delaware were not intimidated by that family.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so. But you know what I'd do if there was a shark or you get electrocuted? I'll take electrocution every single time.
You know, battle by day, love at night, which needs birth control and dental dams.
You can't make this up. Welcome to Street Politics. My name is Reese Waters. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the page. Now, I put out a poll this week asking if you guys would want me to do a grab bag of all the crazy MAGA-isms on the internet and that you see on TV.
The Democrats were the ones that were for slavery. The Democrats were the ones that came up with the Jim Crow stuff.
Even if all of that were true about slavery, which party flies the Confederate flag today?
A lot of the Democrats.
A lot more people need dragging than I typically have time and space for, so why not just get a bunch of them out of the way? And by the way, there was one video in particular that made me want to do this.
See you later.
Out here acting like me walking into senior prom. I know nobody wanted me there. I know I didn't have no date, but I'm an actor part anyway because I know cameras is on me. I know that trick. Now, I obviously wanted to address this, but I couldn't pull it out into a whole video, so this is the perfect forum for it. By the way, send me what you think the name of this segment should be. I'm unsure if I should go with You So MAGA or like MAGA So Crazy, almost like You So Crazy, Martin Lawrence's joint back in the day that my mother would have whipped my behind if she knew I was listening to that tape. While we're on the topic of Donald Trump.
Because of MIT, my relationship to MIT, very smart. He goes, I say, what would happen if the boat sank from its weight and you're in the boat and you have this tremendously powerful battery and the battery's now underwater and there's a shark that's approximately 10 yards over there. By the way, a lot of shark attacks lately. Do you notice that? A lot of shark. I watched some guys justifying it today. Well, they weren't really that angry. They bit off the young lady's leg because of the fact that they were not hungry, but they misunderstood who she was. These people are crazy. He said there's no problem with sharks. They just didn't really understand a young woman swimming now really got decimated, and other people too, a lot of shark attacks. So I said, so there's a shark 10 yards away from the boat, 10 yards, or here. Do I get electrocuted? If the boat is sinking, water goes over the battery, the boat is sinking. Do I stay on top of the boat and get electrocuted? Or do I jump over by the shark and not get electrocuted? Because I will tell you, he didn't know the answer. He said, you know, nobody's ever asked me that question. I said, I think it's a good question. I think there's a lot of electric current coming through that water. But you know what I'd do if there was a shark or you get electrocuted? I'll take electrocution every single time. I'm not getting near the shark.
This man's so wild, we had to get him an interpreter, and shout out to Midas Touch for this one.
So I said, let me ask you a question. And he said, nobody ever asks this question, and it must be because of MIT. My relationship to MIT, very smart. He goes, I say, what would happen if the boat sank from its weight, and you're in the boat, and you have this tremendously powerful battery, and the battery is now underwater, and there's a shark that's approximately 10 yards over there. By the way, a lot of shark attacks lately. Did you notice that? A lot of shark. I watched some guys justifying it today. Well, they weren't really that angry. They bit off the young lady's leg because of the fact that they were not hungry, but they misunderstood who she was. These people are cray, he said. There's no problem with sharks, they just don't really understand. A young woman swimming now really got decimated, and other people too. A lot of shark attacks. So I said, so there's a shark 10 yards away from the boat, 10 yards, or here. Do I get electrocuted if the boat is sinking and water goes over the battery, the boat is sinking? Do I stay on top of the boat and then get electrocuted? Or do I jump over by the shark and not get electrocuted? Because I'll tell you, I didn't know the answer, he said. You know, nobody's ever asked me that question. I said, I think it's a good question. I think there's a lot of electric current going through that water. But you know what I'd do? If there was a shark or if you get electrocuted, I'd take electrocution every single time. I'm not getting near the Shah.
You know, I think I prefer the second one. Yeah, I think I prefer the second version. It just has more feeling, you know? Donald, like, I just didn't really believe your reading, you know? Why don't you try something else?
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah. I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you know, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world.
Wow. You have been out here lying for decades and you're this bad at it. I would think with 50 years experience of anything that you would be much better than that. What is it, 10,000 hours that Malcolm Gladwell said you need to become an expert? You have well over 10,000 hours of outright lying. I expect better from you. I really do. I expect better from you. I mean, how have you navigated all those divorces not being able to lie better than that? I mean, what were you saying when you coming home after seeing Marla Maples when Ivana started asking questions? No, I was not with Ivana. Well, I don't really want to say because it's a lot of phony stuff with Marla Maples, and I don't want people to get involved with that phony stuff. That can ruin lives.
You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would, or at least
Do you think that would restore trust? Help restore trust?
Yeah, I don't know about Epstein so much as I do the others.
9/11, yeah. JFK, I'm with you. Jeffrey Epstein, yeah. Well, Why would Donald Trump be so circumspect about exposing the secrets of Jeffrey Epstein, a billionaire child sex trafficker who died in prison, without revealing which of his well-connected elite friends knew about and possibly even participated in his revolting and illegal activities? Who you can see here joking and ogling women at a New York party in 1992 with a local financier named Donald Trump. I've known Jeff for 15 years. Terrific guy, Trump once told New York Magazine. He's a lot of fun to be with. It is even said he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side.
And Fox News made it even worse by trying to hide it. They cut that part out of rebroadcast of the interview.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah. I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
Attorney General.
Which just draws more attention to it. How have you guys not learned this by now? Y'all look like me when I was 8 and I took all of the Oreo cookies from downstairs and hid them in my closet and then moved my dresser drawer in front of my closet so nobody could get to it. You think that's a little hot? I'm just saying, you think that's a little hot. And Fox News really is on a roll here. This whole segment could have been named after them.
She's imprinted on the country permanently that she is a really shallow, uneducated, and uneducatable person, and that other than her weird laugh, there's no really significant part to her. Now,
you know, I wonder what it is about her that gives the air of shallow and uneducated. I wonder could it be the law degree? Could it be the law degree that gives the air of shallow and uneducated? Could it be being a former U.S. Senator or perhaps Attorney General? I'm not entirely sure what it is about Kamala Harris that makes her have no redeeming qualities other than a weird laugh. I can't imagine, Newt. I can't imagine what that is.
And I got to tell you, if they become the majority, we're in trouble. I mean, do you want people whose motto is, and they took this right out of the 50s and 60s, battle by day, love at night, which needs birth control and dental dams.
Dental dams? Dental dams? I haven't heard dental dams since 8th grade family life class. That's the last time I heard dental dams. They really need to get rid of their DEI program at Fox News. They really do. Their DEI program, that's not hitting it. No, that is not hitting it. No, I don't think she has any redeeming qualities other than a very weird laugh. Shallow. Yeah, uneducated.
How does that work? You know, do you want a dance party or do you want to go live in your parents' basement? Like, finesse the language, but home ownership, the American dream, that's what these young people want more than a free beer.
Now, wait, wouldn't the free beer come with the dance party, right? The free beer would come with the dance party, and that's the one that Trump is doing, right? Trump is doing the dance party, so it's a dance party with no free beer? Huh? I'll take the basement. Yeah, I'll take the basement. Yeah, I really would. And what is this about a mortgage and purchasing a house and all that? You mean like the things they would do if they had money that they weren't spending on student loans that you're actively preventing Joe Biden from forgiving? Is that what you mean? And by the way, as bad as all those were, nothing, and I mean nothing, would top this.
This is a new era in America, and I think it goes against the ilk of who we are as Americans and our faith in the criminal justice system. In the end, this jury of ordinary people from Delaware were not intimidated by that family, and they recognized that this was a clear-cut case and that clearly no one's above the law.
This is a very political exercise, and you have to say that it accomplished what it set out to accomplish.
But I would say this about Judge Noreika. I think she ran a very fair courtroom. She ran a very fair trial.
I guess we all need, to shop at Banana Republic from now on? Because that's what it feels like. Yeah, a Banana Republic.
For years, the Bidens have been able to escape any legal accountability for their sleazy, corrupt conduct. But today, their luck ran out. At least Hunter's did.
Power is all they love. And they're willing to do anything to cling to it. They're willing to destroy the rule of law. The Republic has been wounded by weak lawyers and talentless political bloodhounds. It gave me a little boost of confidence in the American legal system, although they still have a lot of work to do to win me back.
I believe that there was a conscious collusion of allies that came together. It's pretty obvious, with a private strategy to eliminate a common shared adversary. Hunter's going to jail, so Joe doesn't have to. And when he comes out, he'll be rewarded for his loyalty, like a made man in a Biden crime family. This is a distraction from the influence peddling and the kickbacks.
The wildest part is they still have news on the front of the desk. Yeah, it's crazy. Tell me you worship the man without telling me you worship the man.
Oh, President Trump is a convicted felon. Well, you want to know something? The man that I worship is also a convicted felon. And he was murdered on a Roman cross.
We're here in Sunset Park to worship and bring back the greatest president we've ever known in our generation.
That's right. You actually said it. You actually said the thing that you are trying to deflect and deny when you get accused of worshiping the man. There it is, right there in 4K. And by the way, I made a whole video about the cult of the convicted felon. You know, the thirsty dude who wore the convicted felon t-shirt on the plane. Make sure you check that out. I'll put the link in the bio. I'm just asking, do y'all have any idea what y'all sound like?
I don't understand why we're here. Because you all, for the longest time, as long as I've been alive, and I'm the son of 2 Republicans, so I've heard this in my household a lot, you're the party of free markets. You believe that Democrats regulate too much, but you've hauled these 3 here to tell them you don't like how they're investing in the free market. You don't like how women make decisions about their bodies, and so you're banning abortions. You don't like how families make decisions to get pregnant, so you're banning IVF. And now you don't like when businesses invest in climate projects. And by the way, it's a little bit ironic because you have done nothing, as long as I've been in Congress, to mitigate against climate chaos. You've contributed by doing nothing to make the risks higher. These folks go out and, in their own investments, mitigate against the risk, make money for the people who work for them, and now you're saying they shouldn't do that.
Which brings us to the worst MAGA of the week.
Republican Senate candidate Larry Hogan in Maryland, and again, I'm asking this in your capacity as one of the co-chairs of the entire Republican Party, and he's a popular former governor in Maryland. He wrote this right ahead of the verdict. He said, quote, "Regardless of the result, I urge all Americans to respect the verdict and the legal process." That is not the Republican Party line at the moment, and in fact, he was attacked by the top Trump advisor, Chris LaCivita, who wrote that he, quote, "just ended your campaign," end quote. Does the Republican National Committee support Larry Hogan for Senate?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I don't support what he just said there. I think it's ridiculous. And I think anybody who's not speaking up in the face of really something that should never again have seen the light of day, a trial that would never have been brought against any other person aside from Donald Trump.
But does the RNC support his bid?
The respect of anyone. Well,
he doesn't deserve the respect of anyone?
He doesn't deserve the respect of anyone in the Republican Party at this point. And quite frankly, anybody in America, if that's the way you feel, that's very upsetting to hear that.
So are you willing to cede the Senate seat in Maryland to the Democratic Party and not support Larry Hogan?
What I'll tell you is that we, of course, want to win as a party, but that is a shame. And I think he should have thought long and hard before he said that publicly.
Are you willing to use Republican Party resources to support his bid or not? It sounds like you're saying you're not.
Well, I'll get back to you on all the specifics monetarily, but what I can tell you is that as the Republican Party co-chair, I think he should never have said something like that. I think that's ridiculous.
Whoa, 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 whoa. I didn't know we had a late entrant. I had no idea, but I think she might have legs. I really think she might have legs. That is crazy. You are out here willing to sacrifice a Senate seat for what crime exactly? The most milquetoast thing that you could have said from the beginning of America's history up until 2016. But all of a sudden, now that's a crazy assertion to make, that you should actually respect a jury's decision. So crazy, in fact, that the head of the RNC is threatening to pull her support for a Republican challenger for a Senate seat. Then had the nerve to try and say he should have thought twice before he said that.
He doesn't deserve the respect of anyone in the Republican Party at this point. And quite frankly, anybody in America, if that's the way you feel, that's very upsetting to hear that.
So are you willing to cede the Senate seat in Maryland to the Democratic Party and not support Larry Hogan?
You think you should have thought twice before you threatened to sacrifice a Senate seat? Huh? You think you should have thought twice? I actually think we need to do a study. Somebody needs to call NIH because it seems apparent that mouth diarrhea is contagious. Yeah, it seems that mouth diarrhea is contagious because we started with Trump and now we get his daughter-in-law who hasn't been around this her whole life. And I'm assuming when she joined the Trump clan as just an innocent young social climber, that she wasn't out here talking this greasy. Now, all of a sudden, she's willing to sacrifice a Senate seat live on CNN because somebody said they should respect a jury's decision and the rule of law. You gotta wonder. But we do have that challenger to the worst MAGA of the week, MSNBC's Katy.
If you want to be an apologist for Donald Trump, that may be your role, but it ain't mine.
I'm just playing. She's still undercover. Katy. She hasn't announced herself yet. Yeah, the worst MAGA of the week, conservative commentator Laura Loomer, who dropped these brain turds after Hunter Biden was found guilty. Now, my first instinct was to drag her to the white meat. That was my first instinct, was to drag her to the white meat. However, in the process of gathering my armaments, I realized how much it was dragging me down to spend any more of my life with Laura Loomer, like either directly or or on the internet. It's almost like you see somebody in the street and you don't want them to touch you. Like I'm just making like a semicircle around her very existence. Virtual or real life, you know? And I feel like the worst punishment of all is her having to move forward day by day as Laura Loomer.
Welcome to hell, mother...